Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rayge, and we are back today to talk about the Escape from KYLN, but as well as even the Race to 105 events overall that have been released, currently ongoing right now. And obviously, we know KYLN is in just a few days with Omega Red unlock pending. This is the Phoenix Force version of the Omega Red that we have an opportunity to unlock. But yeah, I've been getting a lot of questions, a lot of concerns, resource constraints, guys. And I do want to just quickly say this off the top, right? Remember, these events are really, designed for the end game players, myself included. Even if you're free to play, even if you're not, these are events that are accessible for the end game that actually have, basically the majority of the game and modes, the majority of significant characters and milestones already accomplished and completed. So I know this is going to be in some ways very free to play friendly because as we broke down in previous videos, the unlock of Omega Red is actually quite easy. Even if you are Commander level 75, you should be able to get 2 yellow stars of him unlocked. And over time, in the next 2 months here, we're going to be able to progress to that level 104 or 105 Commander level without really any issues. Well, really, with very minimal coring. You really have to map out what you want to be doing, but honestly, something missed in my previous videos was that there's experience points also being included in some of these milestones, so they're actually easier than we thought. But I do want to just quickly talk about the Escape from KYLN because I've been getting a lot of questions on this, characters and teams to build and whatnot. And to be honest, guys, right now in the game for endgame players, aside from the routine stuff that we're doing day in, day out, arena, if you need to actually nudge your way up for more power cores, the daily raids that we're doing in terms of Orcus and Spotlight, I mean, there isn't really too much content for us in terms of endgame players. Hence why a lot of us are excited about the new game modes, right? Some of the most exciting content in the game for us is the new content because we can actually, dive into it. We can actually play the game modes, see how difficult they are. But this KYLN Forged in Fire event, you can see the milestones already available, so you can take a look at the resources. And really, I mean, the only thing to really write home about here is the Omega Red shards, right? I mean, there's some Crimson Hunt Orb fragments, which is going to help with the event overall. The Crimson Red gear, some Ion sprinkle here and there. But I mean, aside from things that you normally be seeing on the regular basis already, it's nothing crazy. The good news is that this event is going to be ongoing here for the next 13 days. Realistically, for an endgame player, you may be able to get this done in maybe 2 or 3 days, honestly. Maybe even the first day, depending on how well you built up your roster already. Because with KYLN, it's very similar to a Scourge where you could actually just do it in one sitting. So a lot of us are investing in characters and teams where we think they might have value in this event, and obviously get to the finish line here for Omega Red. But I want to caution you guys real quick. I want to caution you guys because if you're in the early game and you're in the mid game, I don't know if this event is worth it for you guys, to be honest. Like, the amount of resources you may need to put into some of these characters and teams, yes, there will be value, but remember, so 2 of the obvious teams, right? Like, Absolute A-Force is one of them. The other one is the Immortal X-Men that you can build up with Jean Grey and Hercules, and obviously, the other members that you can, not Immortal, the Uncanny Avengers mixture that you need for Spotlight. I mean, even those 2 teams, they're not actually listed on my top 10 teams that you should be investing in to unlock 80-90% of the content. Reason being is there's not enough requirements for having them built yet. Aside from this, random limited time event that's coming for essentially just to appease the end game players, right? So for an early game player, for a mid game player, would I recommend building A-Force, Absolute A-Force respectively, and as well as the Uncanny Avengers, Mortal X-Men? Not currently. Even for early end games, I don't know if I would recommend it yet, just because this is deep into the end game content where we're essentially just starved for content and we want to be able to, dabble in something different and fresh, and obviously the goal here of maximizing an opportunity for a limited time character. But for those of you that haven't unlocked, Mephisto, that haven't unlocked Odin, I mean, I think it's a way better resource investment to build up towards these characters in Dark Dimension 8 and Dark Dimension 7. Your training materials, your gold, is better invested in these characters, or ultimately unlocking them, because they are going to be impacting your account much more than just simply adding, the Uncanny Avengers and the Absolute A-Force team for this limited time event. So, those of you for those of you paying attention and just want to just, a takeaway message is that I don't know if I would focus on this event. I think this is definitely an opportunity here as a big trap. because of the fact that this is really tailored to the endgame players. It's a resource trap. It's resources that we have as endgame players, right? Gold we have, power cores we have, training materials we've built up in reserve. But for those coming into the game that are brand new and fresh, you may not have the resources allocated, and they may better be invested in again, I'll link my video below on the top 10 teams, but those 2 teams are not on that list. So, you know, it's hard for me to say one thing and recommend it, but also go against it as well at the same time, because, you know, I understand where the progression should be and where the foundations of a good solid roster, you know, it really needs to be measured in terms of long-term, you know, success in the game. So that's really my honest opinion, guys. KYLN Forge and Fire, it is a luxury event. And remember, even if you do go through and unlock Omega Red, he is a specialized Cosmic Crucible character with Phoenix, right? And you may or may not have Phoenix unlocked either if you're newer to the game. So that's what I mean. Even if you were going to unlock Omega Red, you still need Phoenix, his counter half, to really be able to thrive and take advantage of that game mode for Crucible, even assuming if that's a game mode that you care about. If you don't care about Crucible, KYLN will not matter for you for this limited time event, and you can just focus on the things that you do prioritize: raids, arena, dark dimension, and so forth, war, you know, whatever you're trying to focus on in the game. I think that's better invested in. I will say though, this race to 105, like I said, in a way it's kind of a trap event, in a way it isn't, because of the fact that if you already are going to naturally level up in the game, you might as well bring up characters that's going to give you the most value. Don't bring up characters for the sake of meeting certain milestones, right? Remember, this is one of my game plans too, right? I'm probably going to wait for the very end here when I reach commander level 104, 105 to make that decision, because you get the most maximal points from leveling a character from 104 to 105, that 1500 boost, which is almost a 300% from the 104, right? So that's the most meaningful, which means that's the one you want to take advantage of and prioritize in terms of the number of characters. But also, it's going to save you gold and training materials resources in the long run. So I know I've been recommending this team and these characters for these events, guys, but at the end of the day, I'm also wanting to take a step back here, because I understand, you know, for those of you that have been asking me questions, you may not be in the end game like myself. You may not be as, you know, ingrained into the game as I am in terms of longevity in the years I've been playing this game. So just be mindful of the training resources, be mindful of the gold. It is potentially a big trap and can slow you down in your roster. Hence why I'm dubbing this a trap event, because that's what it is. It's sinking your resources for a limited time event. And again, those 2 teams are not on my top 10 teams, but they are required for essentially this event, and that event's gonna be ongoing here for the next 14 days. So hope this is helpful, guys. Let me know what you think. Comments below if you agree or disagree. I'm eager to hear it back, but those are my 2 cents. In the meantime, if you're not interested in these events, focus on your roster, focus on building the essential teams that can actually elevate your characters to unlocking those game-changing characters like Odin, Mephisto, Apocalypse, and so forth. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.